Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so potential buyers have more information about the seller and the business to help them make a buying decision. Before we dive in, let's go over a brief summary of this business. It's an Amazon FBA business created in June of 2017 in the office supply and pet care niches. The average monthly revenue for the business is $89,932 and makes an average of $19,282 per month in net profit. The assets included in the sale are an Amazon Seller Central account with 27 SKUs, domain including all site content and files, supplier relationships, social media accounts and pages, which are Facebook and Instagram, trademarks, an email list with over 300 subscribers, and just as a disclaimer, inventory is not normally included in the list price, but further details can be provided to unlockers. So for everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 62433 to learn more about the business, or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So that's a brief overview of the business for sale. Let's hear from the seller with me today. So welcome to the show, John. How are you doing today?
Hi, Nick. I'm doing great, and I look forward to our conversation.
Yes, me too. And I'm looking forward to learning more about you and your business. So to start with question number one, can you tell us a little about your background in building and running online businesses?
Sure. Well, I was in a college at the time and thinking about what I was going to do when I finished school. I was always interested in online business and the advantage of being able to do it from anywhere using only a laptop. So during the time, I came across online training on how to sell on Amazon. I thought it sounded interesting. The course was very expensive, but I decided to go for it. I learned a lot of new things. Practically everything was new for me. On top of that, English is not my first language, so it was even more difficult at the time. After finishing the course, I found my first product, which I made in China. But I realized that I didn't have much money left to buy inventory because I spent almost everything on the online course, So in the end, the product turned out to be a real disaster because I entered a very competitive niche. So I lost some money on it. But fortunately, I had the idea to offer the product to retail and managed to sell it that way and at least get some money back. However, I didn't give up and decided to really do a detailed market analysis and try to launch one more new product. And the second product was already a success from day one. And this product is still my best seller, dominating the category now. So That's some about my story about how I started this online business.
Yeah, I think that's so great because a lot of people, everyone wants their first product to be success on day one. And a lot of people, when they don't see the success with their first product, it's very easy to give up on Amazon FBA in general. So I think it's great that you continued and you launched your next product, even though you didn't have money after the course. And then that second product became and still is your best seller. So that's awesome to hear. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so it's been several years that you've been working on this business. So why are you selling the business now instead of keeping it and growing it further?
This is a good question. I personally live in Europe, and this is purely a US business. So this whole business model is very virtual for me, but very profitable in terms of how much time I spent on running this business. However, I would like to move on and explore new opportunities here in Europe where I am at home. So that's the reason why I would like to exit in the US and start a new business in Europe.
Oh, nice. I didn't think about that before, that you achieved this much success in what is essentially a foreign business. So, yeah, it makes sense that you would want to build a business, maybe something that's more local, something more familiar with your area. Okay, great. So, obviously, you've seen a lot of success with this business. What did you learn from building this business that worked for you?
To be honest, I learned a lot of new things, no question, because I had no previous business experience. However, what I would like to highlight is that it has worked for me to focus on products that are complex or difficult to find suppliers for. It's definitely something that I think still works. And, there isn't a get rich quick sham and you have to work for it. You have to offer something better than your competition. So I learned it after my first product that was disaster. So this is definitely number one experience that I will use in future, of course.
Yeah, that's great. So finding manufacturers that are difficult to find or products that are difficult to create, I think that's a great piece of advice. And I think that's the first time that I've heard something like that. So I think that's really good advice to create that competitive advantage. So was there anything you tried with this business that didn't work as well?
Yeah, of course. I made a tremendous amount of mistakes. For example, I can point out that I learned that you cannot compete on price on Amazon. Chinese sellers will always be able to offer products for a lower price. So what it taught me is that you can't sell products on Amazon that will be the cheapest in the category. Therefore, all my current products have quality advantages, are among the most expensive in their niches. So yeah, the mistakes that you can do on Amazon in the USA is that you think that you will be the cheapest in the category, but it will never be true, because if you source the product from China, this is not possible, because China sellers will always be able to source it for lower price because they are local there.
Yeah, and your manufacturers are in China. So I guess they would know what products you're making. So you have to build something that it's not the cheapest product to be successful.
Yeah, it's definitely about to have some advantage. The good point is to have some quality advantage, because there are buyers that will pay a premium for high quality products.
Yep. Nice. So at this point, you've been working on this business for several years. So can you describe the amount and the type of work that you do on this business for maintenance?
Yeah, of course. The company is set up to operate in a very automated way with minimum effort. So if I split it up to day-to-day tasks, weekly, monthly tasks, day-to-day, it takes me about, I think, 10 minutes per day. It's about checking sales and checking Seller Central for some potential warnings and replying to customer messages. But I receive a minimum amount of messages from my customers. I think it's 2 messages per week. So the day-to-day tasks are very simple. About the weekly tasks, it's about checking inventory on Amazon and replenishing it. I also keep very accurate cost of goods sold records, because I like to have everything in line. So I update COGS with each new shipment delivered to Amazon. And I use the well-known Seller Legend software where I track the COGS and where I calculate my profit. Of course, once every 14 days, I check my PPC campaigns that I optimize myself. For the rest, I hired a contractor. And that's it. About the monthly task, it's about checking total inventory and placing new purchase order with my suppliers, and of course preparing accounting documents for my bookkeeping firm. So that's it. So you can see that running this business is definitely not time consuming. And if I sum it up, I spent about 15 hours per week running this business.
Great. Yeah. So it sounds like what you described is like the normal account maintenance, and sounds like some inventory management. Sounds like actually very specific inventory management. So that's great to hear. So let's talk about the opportunities for the business. If you were to keep the business, what are some ways you would try to grow it?
Yes. The great thing about this business model is that there is a huge amount of opportunity to develop the business further. And in the first step, I would focus on external traffic and try to bring new customer to my product listing from external sources. When I consider that the top selling product has over 3,000 reviews with 4.8 stars, I would expect a high conversion for the traffic brought to the listing. And of course, you can also take advantage of the Amazon brand referral program. And this way, Amazon rewards sellers who bring in customers from external sources. I would also recommend maybe having product videos made and uploading these videos on the product pages. At the same time, you can run videos ads on Amazon. And yeah, you can always start adding products to other marketplaces like Walmart, maybe eBay, and you can also expand to Europe. There is still a huge opportunity. It's not so much saturated market in the USA. And you can also analyze my niches and source new private label products. And as I already mentioned, I would focus on the complex products that are hard to source, but there will not be so much competition now.
Got it. Well, certainly sounds like a lot of opportunity here. I think that was 6 different opportunities. So, yes, a lot of opportunities for growth. So, of course, with opportunities, there is always risk. So, what do you think are the biggest risks with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
Well, as in any other business, there are certain risks, and a potential buyer is likely to have experience with Amazon and therefore will know that the biggest risk is Amazon itself and its ever changing terms. And I think this is probably the biggest risks I perceive in this business now.
Yep.
So it's Amazon itself.
Yep. That's a very common risk and one that anyone with experience in Amazon is probably familiar with. Okay. Last few questions here. How much support are you willing to offer a new buyer?
I am happy to offer support as much as necessary, but this is not a complex operation and running my business is easy and straightforward. So I think 30 days of support will be enough. I also assume the buyer will have a general idea of how to run the Amazon business.
Okay, sounds good. And do you commit to a non-compete after you sell this business?
Yes, definitely it makes sense. And of course, I am willing to commit to non-compete clauses.
Okay, perfect. And are you open to something like an earnout?
Yeah, I open to that possibility, but it depends on the condition of the earnout. However, I will not hide that I prefer offers with full payment, but I am willing to negotiate on the earnout as it makes sense.
Yep, understandable. And good to know. All right, last 2 questions. Putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you think this is a business worth buying?
Yeah, this is a good question. Basically, you don't have to do anything and it will make you nice money. It's a great way of passive income. If I come back to the fact that my products have quality advantages and they sell for premium prices in their niches, therefore you don't have to worry about a cheap competitor entering the market. I see this is a big advantage and a fundamental pillar for long-term profitable sales on Amazon. There is always room to expand the product portfolio of the related products. And furthermore, there is so much opportunity how to grow sales on Amazon. And I would definitely focus on the external traffic and marketing outside the Amazon platform. Yeah, I would also like to mention that I have great long-term stable relationships with suppliers and well-processed logistics. This is often overlooked, but in this day and age, when we are experiencing disruption in shipping and so on, these matters are very important. Maybe finally, I would also mention that my seller account was created in 2015, and so the account isn't burdened by Amazon holding a certain amount of balance. This is great advantage in contrary if you would create new seller account nowadays. Because if you create new seller account today, Amazon automatically holds balances on new seller accounts. And this have a very negative impact on the seller's cash flow. So these things are that I would point out that are worth buying my business.
Got it. And that last point, you meant Amazon doesn't hold the balance like your payout, do you mean?
Yeah, it's about the payout.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great point. Okay. Well, yes, definitely a lot of positive benefits to this business. So, last question, is there anything you'd like to add that you think I might have missed during this interview?
I don't think so. I think we went over everything what I wanted to express. So I think we answered everything now.
Okay, great. Well, I'll wrap this up here then. So, John, thank you so much for sharing your story and joining us on today's episode. And yeah, I hope your business is purchased in the near future and by the right buyer.
Thank you very much and have a great day.
Thank you, you too. All right, everyone, thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 62433. And if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. And once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.